Controversial blood quantum laws are being debated as more missing Indigenous children are discovered. I'm Yoonj Kim, and this is MTV News Need to Know. The names of 102 missing Indigenous students believed to have died at the former site of the Genoa U.S. Industrial School in Nebraska have been identified through a variety of primary sources. Their bodies have yet to be found, and experts say the actual death toll is likely much higher. The Genoa School is one of 25 boarding schools Indigenous children were forced into in the United States, which aimed to assimilate them to Eurocentric culture. It operated from 1884 to 1934 and often incorporated physical punishment. The known Genoa victims range in age from as young as 4 to 22. Their names won't be published until tribal leaders are consulted and an attempt to contact relatives is made. Meanwhile, the search continues for the school cemetery, where many of the bodies are thought to be buried. These discoveries were made by the Genoa Indian School Digital Reconciliation Project, which kicked off in 2017 as part of a national push to uncover the horrors of federally run schools that stripped Indigenous children from their families and culture. Earlier this year, U.S. Secretary of the Interior Deb Haaland launched the Federal Indian Boarding School Truth Initiative to find out what happened to the children who were lost in schools like Genoa. A report written by a Genoa superintendent was discovered detailing some of the atrocities. An epidemic of measles broke out. It spread rapidly through the school. At one time, there were 105 in bed at once. As a sequel, we had numerous cases of lung fever, 10 of which died. With two exceptions, the deaths were all confined to two tribes, Apaches and Arapahos. As the Arapaho tribe learns more about their young children lost at Genoa, the community has changed their tribal rules due to declining numbers. In October, the tribe voted to lower the blood quantum requirement from a quarter Arapaho to 1/8. For those who are not familiar, blood quantum is determining one's tribal membership by how much so-called Indian blood they have. This then determines tribal status, tribal counts, entitlement to land, and governmental support. It was enacted as an official policy with the Dawes Act of 1893 as an institutionalized effort to seize tribal lands. For example, if someone is 1/8 Native American, they could be denied land and government support if the blood quantum requirement of their tribe is 1/4. As Brown professor and citizen of the Chickasaw Nation, Elizabeth Rule told NPR, blood quantum emerged as a way to measure Indianness through a construct of race, so that over time, Indians would literally breed themselves out and rid the federal government of their legal duties to uphold treaty obligations. Treaties protect tribal lands, which make up around 6% of total U.S. land, and the tribes control these resource-rich areas, including 20% of known natural gas and oil reserves. These areas are therefore highly sought after by extractive industries. So blood quantum is not only about heritage, but the question of property. If tribes' memberships dilute, the land will fall back into the hands of the government. Today, tribes decide their own terms of blood quantum, but the topic remains highly controversial. Some say it means nothing and that you cannot measure how native someone is in blood. Also, as the speaker and former Miss Indian World, Cheyenne Kippenberger, tweeted, "Happy Native American Heritage Month. This is a reminder that blood quantum has only ever been used on dogs, horses, and Native people. No other group of people experienced having to prove their percentage of blood ever." But on the other hand, some tribes choose to uphold blood quantum in an effort to preserve their culture. Some fear that increasing tribal membership will lead to less access to government resources in the long run. Journalist Rebecca Nagel tweeted that while she does not agree with blood quantum, "It's not my place to tell other tribes how they should determine enrollment. Self-governance is self-governance. Allowing self-governance when you agree with the tribe and intervening when you don't agree is called colonialism." Blood quantum and assimilation schools were used in tandem by the U.S. government to try to erase Indigenous people. Today, younger generations are attempting to help their communities heal and move forward, as Native culture is finally being celebrated in the mainstream. But the population of Indigenous Americans is shrinking, at least according to official records. Regardless of how tribes determine their sovereignty in the future, it's clear that preserving it is vital to protect human lives and the land. I'm Yoonj Kim, and that's what you need to know.